Welcome to Critical Depth, the follow-up to Twisted Metal 2. I have been meaning to play this game for a long time. The GT logo seemingly has an aquatic theme to it because of Critical Depth. That logo was debuted in this game and persisted into future games. But let's check out this intro, this very elaborate and lengthy intro. Enjoy, and get a sense for what Critical Depth is all about.
Anything yet?
Not sure. Looks like more debris ahead.
You should be within visual range now.
Something on the scanner. It's big. Are you picking this up, Kinsman?
Yeah, I copy. Looks like some kind of Neolithic structure.
Say again, Kinsman? You're breaking up. Something must be... Whoa!
What the hell is that?
You tell me.
Can you back up a bit, McCragen? Let's get a better look.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait. Something...
What's going on down there? McCragen! McCragen!
We're gonna play as the faceless skeleton man here, in Critical Depth. That intro that really reminds me very strongly of the intro to, StarCraft. But much worse. The point is they tried, though. So that sort of sets you up for what to expect. Like FMV style acting with early PlayStation graphical implementation. This isn't even early PlayStation. This is 1997. Released on Halloween, 1 year after Twisted Metal 2. Now we can be a midshipman, a captain, or a deck swabber. Easy, medium, and hard. Try and figure out which is which. I'm gonna stay with easy. For a very specific reason. Mostly this is just a little sample of what Critical Depth is all about. I intend to do more with Critical Depth, however, it ain't easy. This game can be kind of brutal. Slow ass menu. Get out of here. There. Now it's just not going to save my game, and I don't care. I don't want it to save my game. Let's take a look at our characters. A lot of the presentation of Critical Depth is really, really cool. Cheesy and embarrassing frequently, but really cool. For example, the CIA. Just the literal CIA is a playable character. Playable to what effect? Well, we're going to check out that gate that ate that guy's face. It is spewing magical power orbs into the sea. Basically, this game is Power Stone, that fighting game. But vehicular combat in a 3D underwater environment. This is a weird game. So we have a Sharkmobile. We've got Professor Armstrong, Indiana Jones, if you look at his portrait there. Literally just Indiana Jones. A surfer. Guy who was a thrill seeker. Just showed up deep underwater in not even apparently scuba gear. He just lives by the Jamie and Carl Roberts system of if he's not aware that he's not allowed to breathe there, he'll just breathe there comfortably. What does he care? Who's gonna stop him? We got the VLO, that is the Venganza Liberation Organization. Venganza is a place we'll see referenced several times as we play through the game. Evil billionaires looking for power orbs, a literal pirate in a pirate ship that's going to swim underwater. Maybe the best character, not who I'm playing as. Environmentalists, cultists who, like, believe an eldritch god will be summoned if they gain access to the portal. Everyone has different beliefs for what's behind the portal and the source of its powers and what's going to happen if they collect the power stones. Mad scientist wants to cause the apocalypse, as is his namesake. Jacques Cousteau's here, because why not? Just every reference they could cram into this game, they went for it. Kind of proud of them for it. And the Soviets. After the fall of the USSR, they're still at it. The USSR had only fallen like a couple years before this game came out. 1997. I want to say it fell in the 90s, or at least the late 80s. I forget, I knew this at one point. Was it 1991? I did this research for Body Harvest, which had a level that took place the same year that the USSR fell. But whatever. These people are still Soviets after the fall of the USSR. Let's get their bio, because this is who we're playing as. So, they're from Stalingrad. They're pretty ridiculous looking. The KGB say Americans discover powerful energy pods for a new atomic weapon. We must capture energy pods and create super weapon to destroy West before they launch attack. A new Soviet Union will dominate the world. They actually wrote it in terrible Boris and Natasha, like, accent speak. So bad. In such a good way. It's ridiculously high armor. This is basically Warthog in Twisted Metal terminology. Or more appropriately, Darkseid, I guess. We'll see why that's more appropriate. But they wouldn't have known that. Because it's really Twisted Metal Black Darkseid in a lot of ways. So, every single character in between every single level has a whole story, multiple communications to determine their, like, place in the story, the ongoing story of what we're doing to get these orbs. And these energy sources, we'll call them. The Crimson Hammer thermonuclear device needs to be powered by the energy source. That's what they're up to. Then they will hold the world hostage with a nuke. They will demand unconditional surrender from the UN. But first things first, already capitalists are descending upon Baja Gulf like vultures upon carrion. We, the Severe 3, will take our secret submarine, the Stalingrad, and see that enemy forces are subdued and pods are collected. So on and so forth. They have the ultimate faith in their communistic endeavors. Their very authoritarian world domination plot. Starting in Baja. Very precise longitude and latitude. You can go there yourself if you want. And participate in critical depth. Got to see our enemies briefly. It's Jacques Cousteau and someone else. Someone who's probably not going to put up too much of a fight. And it doesn't matter if they do. Combat doesn't much matter at all in this game. Here are the orbs. Grab them. There are a total of 5. Uh-oh. There goes one of them. And I think I beat it out of the guy. Bumped into him and then stole the orb. But everyone has one orb at least. Thankfully, we have this weapon called the Shaker. There it goes. Knock that pod loose. I'll take that. That was the evil billionaire. And the French. Still have one of the pods I need. So there it goes. I'll take that. That means the threshold is now open. We can leave. And I'm gonna leave. But first I'm gonna grab some weapons. So that I'll be prepared for the next level. But yeah, combat is optional in this game. I'm just gonna dolphin jump out of here for fun. I'm losing points as I leave the threshold just sitting there. But whatever. I do want this last shaker. There. To the threshold, and we're out of there. Level over. This is like a football game, really. You get the ball, you go to the end zone, you score your points. And then you do it all again. 1 minute, 43 seconds. So this playthrough is going to fly by, thankfully. More bragging about their vehicle. We've got sympathizers in Moscow, Baghdad, and Seattle. They're gonna bring those sympathizers together and execute plan, invoke chaos. Really, we are not involved with that. We still care about the energy pods. That is our mission with the Stalingrad. Good thing they happen to have a very advanced submarine. As the only surviving thing after their United Union crashed and burned. Ah, right, the pods. One of the pods is right next to me. It drops from the top of the level. This level is much, much, much larger than the last one we were in. So you do get to see them falling, catch them out of midair. One of them still has not been claimed. There it goes. Venganza has it. Venganza simply wants to no longer have their natural resources plundered by outside forces. They want to stop imperialism, basically. As they are its most severe victims. So we're gonna kill them and rock them. And build a nuke to take over the world. It's nice that they have all of the other orbs that I need. Oh, the French got one. But one of our orbs is the Shaker orb. When you have the Shaker orb, hitting someone with a Shaker knocks loose 2 of the pickups you need. which is why I got 2 at once. Nice 2 for 1. Because we're in a 3D environment, it is very useful to check the minimap to tell you whether or not your target is above or below you, or directly in front of you. God, the enemies didn't even attempt to check out anything, so I can already escape, but I'm going to go explore down here instead, because we saw 1% of the level. Right now I'm upside down, and it doesn't matter, because I'm underwater. There's a button combo that rights you immediately. I don't know what it is, though. We got a nice secret area. I did not check the instruction manual. I have a physical copy of this game. And it is very important to check the instruction manual because this game is super complicated. But we're on easy mode, and it is super easy to beat easy mode. Lots of cool structures down here for us to blow up. Rather than a machine gun, what we have is a torpedo. Just unlimited torpedoes that we can fire. They're not homing, though. And they move pretty slowly, so they're kind of hard to land. To make up for it, they do actually kind of respectable damage per hit. I'm actually a little bit lost. Here we go. This should get me out of here. Yeah, this underground area is quite the labyrinth. There are secrets within there, including a 1-up, which is very, very important because this game has 2 lives. You start with 2 lives, and that's all you have to beat the entire game. On any difficulty but easy, that is very difficult to do. So you want to go get those 1-ups. No passwords, as in Twisted Metal. You have to save your game. If you lose life, it's just gone for good. Poor Loco asks if this game has a minion-type mid-boss. That is a great question. It has 2 minion mid-bosses, and then a final boss. This is basically 1.5 Twisted Metal games. I believe this game is even bigger and longer than Rogue Trip, which came out a year later. This is quite a significant game to play through in one sitting. Unless you're on easy mode. Which we are. So, onward to the Pacific Rim. Probably my least favorite level in the entire game. So I guess it's a good thing we're getting it out of the way early. The Pacific Rim level highlights the severe flaw with critical depth. By its very nature, it takes place in a 3-dimensional space. So, it's like an average Twisted Metal map stacked on top of itself infinite times. That means the amount of empty space in every single level is unbelievable. So like right now, getting anywhere would take forever. Getting from one cache of pickups to another is just an arduous task. Like here's some pickups here, which I don't need. But if I were actually bothering to do the combat, which is essential if you're on higher than easy difficulty. Hey, thank you so much, Blast Tyrant. But, Yeah, getting around in this game is really hard. It doesn't help that I'm playing as the slowest character in the whole game. But here's why I am basically dark side. And I have a lock on. My special is to charge at them directly. Crash into them. The homing on it is very, very good. It's basically automatic. The damage on it is pretty good. And it does speed up your vehicle faster than you can go even if you're using turbo. Turbo, by the way, works the same way that it did in Rogue Trip. Or I guess the same way that it will in Rogue Trip. Because Rogue Trip came out a year later. It causes you... It regenerates continuously. It is a permanently regenerating resource. Also, our energy moves work off the same resource. It's a good system, and it originated here. There's the pirate ship, who has no orbs, so I don't care about it. Here's our shield. I haven't really been doing anything with our shield. But there it is. It encircles the vehicle. The shield system is very unique in this game. Shields are used by hitting the triangle button. You just touch triangle. There you go, you're shielded. You can turn it on and off and on and off and on and off. Anytime you're touching triangle, you are shielded. Until you run out of energy. And the game tells you when you're about to get hit with something. It's the lock-on detection. Lets you know what's going on around you. But it does take a lot of energy in order to use your shield. You need to constantly be using energy to move around because the levels are so gigantic. So the shield is kind of risky. I actually find surviving quite difficult in this game. But I really like the idea of being able to shield anytime with a simple tap of a button. That said, anytime you successfully shield an attack, it uses a very large portion of your energy bar. Simply tapping the button uses very, very little energy. But if it actually does something, then it costs you. Anyway, off to Bermuda. Only 4 opponents. That's nice and easy. I can handle 4 enemies. Or I can simply ignore them and get the pods. First pod dropped pretty far away, so I don't know if I'm going to get to it before anyone else. Let's split the difference, see which pod shows up first. Yeah, there's one. Graphics are pretty solid. And I love the soundtrack. Same composer as Twisted Metal's 1 and 2. And really Twisted Metal 3. Those composers did a lot of work. And the Jetmoto series, they were the real go-tos for these sorts of games. We can also combo our weapons together. It grants us additional points, and I forget what points do, if anything. They're probably important. This game's ridiculously complicated. If there's a thing, you probably need to know everything there is to know about it. I think I knocked a pod out of the Sharkmobile and then didn't go grab it, which was not smart. I can make up for that, hopefully. Everyone's coming after me, which... that's a big problem in this game. As soon as you get any number of pods, the enemies become hyper-aggressive towards you. Which makes it very, very hard to just grab the pods and run on any difficulty besides easy. Another reason I'm playing on easy right now. Oh, another pod. Need that. There are plenty of attacks that will knock loose pods besides the Shaker. The Shaker is just guaranteed to knock out a pod. Otherwise, high damage attacks or lots of combos all at once seem to free a pod if someone is holding one. And in particular, the lockjaw attack, the special on the Sharkmobile, is to grab you and shake you. That seems to shake loose pods very, very frequently, which is super, super annoying. Take a quick look at this sunken submarine, which I've blown up. Hopefully there were no survivors on there. And more shipwrecks. Okay, critical depth. It's not just the title of the game. It is an actual important mechanic that is just showing up now because the teleporter is below critical depth. While you are under critical depth, you are constantly losing HP. So don't go down there, but sometimes you have to. Especially if a pod falls down there. Incoming message. I will stand for your interference no longer. I am the mighty arms dealer known as Mr. Fat. The energy pods you are carrying play a key role in my conquest of the world. Only I have the knowledge and the means to use them to their full potential. I will not permit you to continue in your vain and petty quest any longer. I have used my superior technology to block your progress through the threshold. I will now destroy you with my glorious submarine, the Kronos, and retrieve the pods from your pitiful wreckage. Prepare to meet your doom. So this is Minion. Thank you so much for stopping by, Four Loko, and participating. Honestly, I was so uninvested in the first half of this playthrough, but I did hope people would stop by and ask questions, and indeed, people did, including Four Loko. That's the best part of doing streams like this. And I have absolutely no idea how I would have maintained coherent commentary through so many of these playthroughs were it not for live viewers engaging. Anyway, Mr. Fat. This game's Minion. He's over here somewhere. We have the pods, but he has locked the threshold. We can't get out of here. Until he's dead. We got a lock on. Now to just spam our attacks at him. So honestly, his AI is pathetic here. And a one-on-one fight is pretty one-sided in your favor. Let's use actual weapons, like the piranhas. The piranhas are my favorite weapon in the game. The pilot missile certainly is not. It's a missile you have to control. I hate those things. And Nidos are just typical homing missiles. They have a full name that I forget. Their actual name, if you read the instruction manual, is even sillier than Nido missiles. But I forget what it is, so... we'll let the game have some dignity as I fight Mr. Fat. That's right, Nito Torpedo. Thank you. Told you it was embarrassing. And boss down. At this point, you should have so many weapons built up that you could just tear that guy apart. But that was probably the longest level so far. Everyone's out of the way. Even if you kill them, they will obviously come back in a future level. Okay, our prize submarine. Driven into an imperialist mine, sent to the bottom of the ocean. These guys really should not be talking about imperialism because they intend to conquer the world. Pretty imperialist goal of themselves, so. Authorize the immediate execution of everyone on board. It appears that the same Mr. Fat who sold us our weapons is, in truth, great capitalist Sebastian Titan. So we killed him. Yeah, every character mentions Mr. Fat in their earlier correspondences before that boss fight. And talks about how he helped kid out their ship for the combat that we are now engaging in. Basically, Mr. Fat was responsible for making all of our vehicles so deadly. On to Venganza, where the Liberation Organization hails from and wants us to leave. Venganza has a bunch of oil drilling platforms. That's the big set piece. And it has been dug out. So this level goes deeper than I think any level in the game. Certainly any level we've seen so far. There are parts of this level where the critical depth is literally bottomless. So if you were to drive straight down, you would never reach the end. You'd simply die. I believe the further you go, the more damage you take per second in critical depth. Critical depth, by the way, is an actual term for when you get too deep in an aquatic vessel like this. Too deep for the vessel to handle it. So they're basically using it correctly. Makes sense that we go right for the capitalists. Given all of our mid-level dialogues. However, they've got a surprising amount of health. I forget which attack it is that makes you go belly up like a dead fish. But that's a pretty cool attack. What I want to do at this point is find some shakers. Like this one. And get myself some weapons. Some orbs. I've got some weapons. Where are you at, Dr. Apocalypse? Get your lobster out of here. Give me that orb. You kind of want to grab the orbs as they're falling in this level. Ideally, you don't want to have to chase them all the way to the bottom. Corporation has nothing. The shark's got something. Pay up, shark. And the Venganzans, which I assume is what you call people from Venganza, have the last of the pods we need. Let's kill them in their hometown. They're driving deep. Yeah, they went to critical depth to get away from us. Unacceptable. Enemies love to drop mines while you're chasing them. But yeah, I killed the Venganza people in their own town for absolutely no reason. Let's see what this area looks like above the water. Because you're always allowed to dolphin jump out of each level. It looks terrible. What an awful skybox. Nice that they have the option, though. Well, some mining equipment. And slowly make our way towards where we're headed. Might as well use our special to get there a little faster. Even if you don't have a lock on, it boosts you forward for a little while. Uh-oh. Lost the pod. Lockjaw got it. I can get it back. I have one last shaker left. I was really worried it was going to hit the side of that cliff. There we go. I got them all. The threshold is right nearby. Down there. This is a real shark, which sprays blood when you hit it. Blew it up. I believe there are also wandering dolphins in this level. Or in some levels. Maybe not that level. I forget. One of the ships is definitely a dolphin, though. An inorganic dolphin. Alright, more about the pods. Oh, wait. Okay. Also note that we have discovered there is alien influence behind the energy pods. They learned about the aliens. I wonder if the other characters learned about the fact that we're up against aliens here, this early. It's kind of supposed to be a twist when you get to the end of the game. Because all the different characters believe that the pods are coming from a different source. This, I guess, is the point where you learn the source is aliens. However, the thresholds are all, like, surrounded by statues of giant alien heads. Just classic grays. So it's really not much of a surprise. Get out of my way, you giant fish. Okay, I'm missing one pod. This level can get away from you pretty easily. It's annoying when it does. Also, if any of the enemies get all 5 pods, they can themselves go to the threshold on the level. It's a weird system. It kind of reminds me of the game Pyre from Supergiant. Honestly, the only Supergiant game that I didn't like and didn't play to completion. So I guess that's not a good thing to be compared to. Now I'm sliding around. We have terrible handling in this vehicle. Lots of shakers, though. And this level is super hard to navigate. There are no straight lines from one area to the next. If you're lucky, there's a narrow corridor between where you are and where you want to be. But there simply might not be. I'd say there often will not be. I talked about the shaker pod, but there's also the pickup pod doubles the amount of pickups you have while you're holding it. Like if you grab something that's normally a thing that gives you 2 of an item, it gives you 4 of that item. So that's a good one to have, especially if you're grinding. Your inventory saves between levels. So you do want to grab the pickup pod and grab a bunch of items before you leave any level. So that you're well equipped when you get to the next one. A lot of preparation is required to play this game on midshipman. A lot of preparation, planning, methodical gameplay. It's honestly quite difficult. And a full playthrough on Midshipman would probably take several hours. I want to say at least 2 hours, probably significantly more. It's a pretty long game. It's a very long car combat game. Most car combat games are about an hour if you're playing them reasonably well. I still say car combat as the generic term, even though it's clearly vehicular combat. Onward. Even this playthrough, where I've mostly just grabbed the orbs and gotten the hell out of there, it's already taken about an hour. Talking about the aliens, etc., etc. This is also a difficult game to show off because you want to show off every character, but every character has a different little story between every single level. And a lot of what they write is pretty lengthy. It's cool all around, though. And the controls are actually fantastic. I'm not even taking full advantage of how good the controls are in this game, because I forgot a lot of how the controls work. But there's a button to right yourself. There's an autopilot that you can toggle on and off. That helps you handle as you're going around. Clearly, sometimes that is very helpful as I get stuck on arbitrary objects. Here's another claustrophobic level. Underwater levels with very tight passageways like this actually are kind of scary. I have actually experienced a little bit of claustrophobia every time I played this level and the last one. I don't even get claustrophobia normally. This could be a horror game. And a lot of the music is very moody. Obviously, the music here is not moody at all. This is one of my favorite songs in the game. Very cool. I put it in the Twisted Metal playlist, as it is fitting in a lot of ways. Like I said, all the music in this game is fantastic, but this is one of the peaks. I don't want to kill Earth Hope. I mean, I do want to kill it, but it wastes a lot of ammo. There's no reason to kill them. I'll probably just lose a pod along the way. No, I didn't. Nice murder. For no reason. I mean, the game liked it. Give me a bunch of points for it. And to respond to conjecture from like half an hour ago, there are no continues in this game. You only get the 2 lives, and any extra lives that you might pick up throughout the playthrough. I believe there are only 2 extra lives in the entire game, though, so you won't really be relying upon that. No continues, though. So points do not get you continues, because nothing gets continues. I simply do not know what points do. Really should have read that manual, but really don't have time with all the moving stuff I got doing. Let's look for enemies that I can rob real quick. This is a dead end. There are a few dead ends around here, but no. Hidden in the wall. Really hard to see. One of my precious pods. Where's the prof? Is that you? Yep, that's you. Hey up. Hey, the USSR toll. Oh, we got it back. No worries. Plenty more shakers where that came from. Oh. The shark stole it. And then I stole it, finally. I didn't even realize that I'd stolen it. Now we can get out of here, through this triangle. I've intentionally sort of sandbagged a lot of these areas, just so that I could show some things off. A lot of these could have been done in less than a minute. Even playing pretty sloppily. This level and the last one, they are hard enough to navigate, and I don't know the layouts of the levels. And I probably would not have been able to get them done in less than like 3 or 4 minutes, but still nice to show them off. Anyway, how do I get out of here? Through this triangle. Trust the triangle. There we go. However, Abaddon Online. Premises. Indiscriminate breeding has disrupted humanity's proper evolution course. Eugenics programs result in genetically superior populations. Only perfect specimens are sufficient. Analyses. Current population of humans must be cleansed. Energy pods are sufficient to instigate cleansing. Evidence indicates that no genetically perfect human specimens exist. Conclusions. I must impede the pod collectors. I must retrieve the energy pods. I must instigate the universal cleansing process. I must destroy all humans. Initiating battle mode. Here's our next minion fight with a eugenicist. Abaddon is coming for us. Bring about the apocalypse, and then do a bunch of eugenics. Well, we can't leave the level until we kill him. And it's probably a good idea to kill him. He seems pretty dangerous. I guess the implication is that it's an automated thing. And for some reason, there's a lot of alien technology submerged in this particular level in the Arctic. They don't specifically explain why, I don't think. I clearly have not been reading all of the between-level blurbs for every single character. There's a lot of info I'm missing. Here he is. Coming for ya. Damn you, piranhas. Back to work. And getting close to done with Abaddon already. I don't have a lot of weapons. Not doing me any good. Not even these suckers. He blew up. So that was the boss. We've technically saved the day. But that was not the boss in any meaningful way. Abaddon was spawned from something we actually saw while we were making our way to the threshold. This gigantic device came online once we brought the energy pods in here. And this is also a boss that we need to defeat. It's got an impenetrable shield around it. And just constantly fires homing attacks at me that are nigh impossible to dodge. You gotta shield them, but it takes all your energy really quickly if you do that. This level is a weird departure in a lot of ways. Hard to prepare yourself for what happens once the boss fight starts. The level itself is very similar to the one right before it. Then the boss fight happens. Same area. Totally different gimmicks. Everything gets very weird. Okay. I'm gonna use our superior armor to get zapped with a laser. But I'm going inside the shield. I'm stuck against this pole. Stuck between the pole and the shield. So I'm gonna die. We do have our 2 lives. Good thing, clearly. This vehicle has by far the highest armor. We would have died many times over if I were playing any other car. But instead, we survived. Clearly. Just fine. Well worth it. And I will ram my way in here. Because I hate that shield so bad. What we need to shoot is the thing generating the electricity, obviously. All I have left is torpedoes. They do nothing. So this is a gargantuan difficulty spike. In addition to being just kind of weird. But through sheer brute force, we might be able to take on the boss now. Slow-mos are very, very, very powerful, and our special will get him inside the shield very quickly. They drop a bunch of pilot missiles out here in the ring around the boss that is safe, which I guess means they expect you to stand out here, launch pilot missiles from outside the boss's radius, and get him through the shield, which moves faster and faster the lower health the boss has. Also, the boss's hitbox is actually just the tiny little glowing circle. It's kind of hard to hit, is my excuse. And one more slow-mo. It's gone. Boss is dead. You're not supposed to kill from inside because there's a whole elaborate explosion animation where the boss blows up. You're supposed to get a good look at it from outside, but I insist on blowing it up from within. No entry. No deck swappers past this point. Choose midshipman or captain to continue. Classic single-track move. You're not allowed to play the game past the 2/3 point, really. They let you get further than they do in Twisted Metal and Rogue Trip, but they do not let you get to the end. Which is a move that I hate. But I prepared for this. This is as much of the game as I intended to show off. This is technically a full playthrough, and I have the ending ready. We are still going to watch the ending. You will thank me for the fact that I prepared the ending for us. The ending to this game is fantastic. All the endings are top tier, better than most Twisted Metal endings. And they do still involve basically a wish, where our various characters, they have a thing they want. And when they bring all the pods to their alien overlords, they get that thing. So, let's give the Soviet diehards what they wanted in this cutscene that I prepared for us. Enjoy. Hope I didn't oversell it, but I really, really like the endings in this game. Here they come.
People of Earth, you have summoned us from across space and time, and we have heard your call. By activating our threshold devices, you have demonstrated that you possess a reasonable degree of intelligence, and thus have proven yourselves worthy of our presence. We have perceived your intentions and desires from across the void, and we shall reward you accordingly. Prepare for our arrival. You are the last champions of a once powerful government, which you wish to see restored. In your quest for world domination, you have sought to unite all the peoples of your planet together in total equality. In answer to your desires, we have unified your world. Now, each human is truly an equal part of a greater whole.
That's some good body horror. So yeah, the ending's clearly done in the same style from the same artists as Twisted Metal 2 and Jet Moto for that matter, which I think we determined was Axiom is the name of the company that did all that artwork. And they do some of their finest work in this particular game. The writing on what the characters want is typically pretty good. Some of the endings are duds. I mean, there's a lot of characters in this game. Not all of them are great, but a lot of them are. So, I intend to do much more with Critical Depth. I definitely want to do a more thorough and complete show-off of this game. That is a monumental task. It is no simple undertaking the way many Twisted Metal Let's Plays have been. But I feel it needs to be done. This game is really good, really weird, really unique, really frustrating. I'm gonna have to practice it so much to get tolerable recordings of this game. But playing on easy mode is actually fun and simple. Even medium difficulty is way too hard for me. And I can't even imagine Captain difficulty. Yeesh. But I do want to show off all the levels in this game, all the endings, literally all these endings, and all the levels thoroughly. Like, we've seen most of the levels at this point, but we've only seen like little bits of them. There's tons of other stuff to show off. And Captain Cutlass. We gotta take a quick look at him. So, he was a TV show host, I believe, who got fired and then turned his pirate ship into a submarine and decided to take out his wrath upon the entire world. Wind-up parrot on his shoulder, I just noticed. And the other really good one, obviously, Joe Scullion, who I have to believe is literally a direct reference to Mr. Grimm. He's got Skull in his name. And he's just a dude. Hanging out. Deep underwater without so much as a mask on. Look at him go. Gonna bag some paws, man. Good for you, Scullion. So, I intend to bring you significantly more critical depth in the future. But I definitely wanted to show off an easy mode playthrough because medium difficulties, it feels like a different game in a lot of ways. And here are the people who made it. Some of whom are familiar. Randy Zorko got a much bigger role than he normally gets in Twisted Metal games. Kellen Hatch, I recognize. Michael Jackson worked on the design. A lot of Twisted Metal alums, and a lot of people who had nothing to do with Twisted Metal. This is a broader SingleTrac sort of thing, whereas the Twisted Metal devs were kind of insular, worked in their own little corner of the SingleTrac offices. So it doesn't feel very Twisted Metal-y at all. Really doesn't scratch that itch. But really good game. And I had fun showing it off on easy mode. Having a nice, easy, relatively quick playthrough. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, the final Twisted Monday, if you've been here live. It's been fun. There's plenty more car combat out there. And so much more twisted critical depth that I didn't get to show off here. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope to see you again soon. Have yourselves a good one.